Here we are. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Let's Talk About Networking. We got over our technical troubles, Lisa.
We did.
We're all sorted. And welcome. If you haven't seen this before, every Friday we chat to a local business person, somebody who's involved in the local community. Ask them a bit about the business, ask them a bit about the role, and then speak a little bit about how networking has helped that journey. And I'm joined this week by Lisa Darwin. Lisa, please tell us about yourself.
Okay, thank you. Lisa Darwin, work for Huddersfield Giants Community Trust. Things are very different at the moment, so I've just been saying this a year since I've probably wore heels, never mind being back in the office. But just very strange at the moment. Everyone's working from home. So we deliver community projects into the community on behalf of Huddersfield Giants. We have an education department, sports department, and we also have the zone, which is our home. At the moment, it's not open to customers, but we have got the Giants Academy and our education program working from the zone at the moment.
Lovely. And how long have you been with then Huddersfield Giants? How long's been your tenure so far?
I've been with them about 14 years now. So I originally came over to set up the zone for operations in HR, because that's my background in HR. And it just grew within 6 months from 6 members of community staff to 32 members of staff working in the zone. It was horrendous, but obviously very fruitful, and it's still going strong. Hopefully we're hanging on and we will be able to open again. 17th of May is looking unlikely, but you never know.
So what's the history then behind the project? Why did it start? How did it start? And what was the thinking behind it?
Okay, Ken Davies, the chairman of Huddersfield Giants, he also took over a Huddersfield Town Football Club when they went into liquidation in 2012. And he bought the zone. So Ken is our landlord, a very supportive landlord at that. And he put the community from the town, Huddersfield Town and Huddersfield Giants together, and we would work from that hub. So things didn't work out how we thought they would do, and Huddersfield Town went back to the canal side and they took their foundation with them. So it has made my job a little bit easier, just having one brand to manage and to deal with. But that's originally why the zone was set up, about community and that everybody belongs. So my role mainly is to ensure that that's what we deliver, and that's what we have at the zone to offer to, from babies to gentlemen of like 84, I think our eldest gentleman is, who comes back to rugby classes, or he did before COVID.
Brilliant. So just to explain a little bit more about kind of what the zone then offers people who want to go down. You say it's for a broad range of ages. So what can it offer all them ages?
Okay, well, we have 2 3G football pitches. So obviously on a night from 5 o'clock onwards, football is an ever the game, and all our pitches are generally full. And then we have a big play structure as well, the biggest play structure in Yorkshire. We used to be able to have 200 kids on more or less at once. When we went back in June, just before September, I think we were down to capacity about 40% was our capacity rate. Things have changed dramatically, and I think they will stay that way moving forward. But from babies coming to baby clinics in the morning, playing in the play structure, we have a fantastic under 5s development leader who works with children under that age group, bring them all sorts of resources, from music to buster bikes to playing on the play structure to parties, which leads us to maybe up to 12-year-olds on the parties. But the football is a big income stream for us, which has obviously been lost at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I suppose my next question is double, got 2 parts. One, how much is it a part of the community? And then second of all, how much is that community mourning the loss of that service right now?
Well, I think we're still working in some schools at the moment, so our coaching team are still supporting schools, but on what our normal sort of delivery would be, that we'd go in and deliver six or eight sessions of some sport, and then we would try and bring them in for a twinning day, which is getting everybody involved before they go to high school, so they mix with other children from other schools that they will see when they go up to high school. Well, that has all gone at the moment. So, you know, if you think about maybe 400 children visiting the zone on a Saturday to go on the pictures or to go on the play structure, they come back and do a different activity, from cheerleading to dancing to gymnastics to rugby and football. We work in partnership with Kicks, so they sort of support us with all their younger age football, which is a great partnership. You know, that's working really well, and hopefully we'll start as we left off last year.
I mean, I don't want this to be a conversation that looks at the negatives of the last 12 months, but there seems to me that there may be a missing generation of skill set here. They've not been able to play rugby, and they've not been able to cheerlead, and they've not been able to do all that. Or do you say, well, actually, we remain positive, and we're just going to have to catch up from what we've lost in the last year?
Absolutely, I am positive. We've got some fantastic opportunities coming up. It's just, I feel we're sat on our hands at the moment. You know, there's a lot of funding out there. We've just raised over 35 grand for a new multi-sensory zone, which is up and ready to go. Staff are just waiting of training. But so when we get the training and we can promote that, that's going to be another project that's new to us. 3 years in raising money for, and we're just waiting again. But BNI, as well as being the charity partner, they've raised over £21,000 for a new minibus. So we're just looking at the contract there to get the minibus sorted, so that when we do come back, we can transport users, babies, mums to the zone and back, to be able to use that multi-sensory zone.
Well, that's a great segue into my next question, because of course we met because of networking and purely because of BNI. But take me back to kind of your first steps into networking. How did it start?
Okay, well, when I first took over my new role as CEO, I knew that was an area that we were missing. You know, we were out in schools, and the people that we were working with were really close knit, and I just felt that we needed to get to know businesses in the local community. So I started going to quite a few little sort of network events, and then I was introduced to BNI. And I think when you first go into BNI, as you'll know, there's quite a lot to get your head around to start with. But 2 years on, well, no, 3 years on, I think it is, the support that I get from that network, I didn't feel I needed to branch out as much as what I did before, although I still go to different network events. But I do feel that it's so important to meet people in different ways, not just business, but obviously personally as well. You know, when COVID hit, I know you don't want to sort of go over there, but
no, I'm happy to, but no.
COVID hit and people are on furlough, and it's quite isolating. You know, I lost quite a lot of my team. So BNI was still there, and I felt that was, you know, that supported me. Probably November hit a bit of a low, and there were people there that I could talk to, and for me that is a difference. And I do feel as well that when you've been in a networking for 2 years and you know so many people, it's so much easier to ask if we can have a partnership together, or would you sponsor me here? Would you mind sponsoring me for this? And the support has been incredible.
So when because of course you're in a unique position as a charity partner, and I know I speak to charities quite a lot in my role, in terms of wanting to get them involved in networking and having that as part of their marketing strategy. How do you then approach networking? Because I know charities, view it quite differently, and they say, well, we go in there asking for links with other companies. We may do it for exposure, or we may do it saying we've got this particular project and we need to fund it. Can you help us out? So how do you view networking as part of your organisation?
I think for me, mainly is just the support. I know everybody wants money and they want to raise for certain projects, but I do feel that it's getting to know people first, so they know what you're about, and just word of mouth, word of mouth of what you do, and if you can support people going in, it's not all about will you support me? We've got a big brand, we can support you as well. A partnership is a two-way thing.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah, by its very nature. Well, it should be anyway. So, how were you first introduced to it then? I mean, you just Googled it, or you know, how did you get actually taken to a meeting almost?
You mean in BNI specifically?
Yeah.
All right, okay, yeah. Okay. The first time I went to BNI, I didn't really like it. It wasn't terriers, I must say. It wasn't terriers. It just wasn't for me, and I thought that there was a lot of aims with regards to referrals and contributions, and I didn't understand it the first time I went. It just sent very clappy as well, and it was like everybody clapped and you were sat, and then you'd stand up and clap and sit down. But that was only one chapter. And then I got invited again because as a visitor, because somebody done me a favour and they asked for a favour back. And again, I went and it was okay. But that's when I realised that around the room, how friendly people were. And I think that got me first, was the support and the people in the room making you feel that you could be part of a great organisation. And Wednesday mornings were a bit of an off-putting, when you're getting up at 5 o'clock to go somewhere. Yeah. But, I haven't looked back since. I think it took me 6 months to sort of settle in and find where I were at. There's certain people in the group that I'm sure will be acquaintances for a long, long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And how have you reflected on the last 12 months? Because you obviously very much, you can see you're a people person in terms of face-to-face stuff, but have you reflected on going digital then for this period of time and doing your networking, staring at a computer?
Yeah, do you know what? I hate IT. I don't understand it. I don't really like it. But part of Secretary Treasurer, which I've been doing, I got the Zoom in, and oh my God, Andrew Tutel has Zoom in to me. And do you know what? I've done really well with it, or I thought I have. I mean, I am still scared about losing people in the room, but I've only got 3 weeks to go, so surely I can't do that much damage. But it has been a learning curve, absolutely, So, I'll be looking forward to passing now.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course. So you've been Secretary Treasurer for your group for how long now?
Sadly, I lost my mum in March, so I didn't take over till I think May from Andrew Tutel, who was brilliant, and he sort of supported me all the way through it till May when I took up the reins. So nearly a year.
Very good. And has your kind of visibility increased as you've taken a role? I found when I first took my first role that the amount of introductions, the amount of referrals that I got increased. What have you seen the difference as being maybe just a member as to having a role?
I can't answer that as a face-to-face Secretary Treasurer. But I don't feel that is the case for me. I just felt that it was a lot you were thrown into in May, and all of a sudden it was all online. Yeah. Taking the Secretary Treasurer role on as well, that was all online. And I feel that there was Janet Bebble's our treasurer, and Vice Treasurer is Gemma Favager. Fantastic girls, and the support is amazing. And I'd love to have a face-to-face top table meeting when the three of us can sort of go out there and sort of be to all our group, because I think it's really hard. I found it really hard reading bios out with nothing to come back at you. You try and sort of make things quite light and maybe throw a joke in there, and you don't hear anything come back, and it's really hard to get it going, you know. So I would like to have the opportunity. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that again.
I'm sure we'll be having this conversation in 10 years' time again, and you'll be all over it, President. Louise, giving you lots of praise here. Done brilliantly. You haven't done a Jackie Weaver. You haven't thrown anyone out of a room yet.
No. I have seen somebody fall off the chair and I couldn't stop laughing. But I haven't done anything that, no, not really.
So you're well experienced networker now. Looking back, what would you tell your former self about actually how networking was? Because you didn't quite, you say 6 months, it took you a while to get into it. What would you tell yourself back then about networking?
I think it's just to hang in there and just keep talking, just keep doing what you do, keep switching on a Wednesday morning and making sure that you're there and you can sort of respect everybody else for being there too. It's difficult times, isn't it? Because you live for today and you live for what's coming. I'm hopeful now that we can look forward to maybe having some face-to-face meetings by the end of the year, and it's not all on screen.
Yeah, I get that. So, what was I going to say? Let's talk about terriers then, because it would be wrong of us not to. They're a great support unit. So, just tell us a little bit about your chapter, some of the personalities, what you've achieved in the last few months.
Okay, thank you. I don't know whether I've achieved anything at the moment. I think I've achieved the year of being Secretary Treasurer without being.
It's great.
Dumped, really. And somebody said, "You're not good enough. Come on, let somebody else have a turn." I think that was hard. I think it's hard to take something on that sort of pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Yeah. I think I feel a lot more confident now. I don't know whether I would have done this actually before. Probably a couple of years ago. So, I've gained a little bit of experience and thinking, do you know what can you do that's so wrong that, would upset the whole apple cart? So I think I am more confident. I think everybody's been bashed a little bit with COVID, and I'm really looking forward to getting my team back because we've not really had meetings as we had before. So I can't wait to get back to some sort of normal.
And terriers itself, you've got some personalities down there. Who's the main personalities, the main driving forces behind it?
You know what? I'll never forget. I need to mention Andrew Tootle because he's such an amazing guy, and I think it's down to him really why I'm here and doing Secretary Treasurer and the support he has. And he's just a good guy, And Janet Baird. Gemma Savage, there's so many, I could mention them all, but they've all got strengths in different areas, and I think there's not one day that goes by that I don't speak to one of them or put something on a chat. I mean, something so simple at the Zone a couple of years ago, we had a hole in the tarmac, and I'd rung a couple of tarmac companies up, and they were saying it was going to cost me about $3,000 to have this hole sort of covered. So I just put a photo of it on my phone on WhatsApp group to terriers with a message saying, does anybody know anybody that's got some tarmac or just fill this hole? And within 10 minutes I got a message back saying, I can sort that, it'll be down in half an hour. And I texted back and said, how much do you think it'll cost me? He goes, probably about 50 quid, Lisa. It's a charity. And you know what? That is like gold to me, and that, that's what BNI is about.
Love that. And I suppose I'd come to you for some advice. There may be other charitable partners that are looking and saying, well, do you know what? I speak quite a lot, and their fundraising has been shot at. Their income has been shot at for quite some time, and they're now starting to recover and repair the damage that's been done. And they may be looking at networking. They may be looking at building relationships with local companies. What advice would you give to them about networking?
Absolutely. Every time I see a big company, and I will talk to them about BNI and get like you do, you become a bit of a spy for BNI, don't you, without even realizing it. You're sort of actively listening all the time to see if you can drop them in. But yeah, absolutely. Where I talk to, if I do a presentation from the trust, BNI is a big part of us now, and I think it's really important. I know it was like a dragon's den because I think there were 4 or 5 charity partners that went up for the free place originally, and I mean, I'm not too sure John Polly and John Burnett might say differently, but I think I probably won them over with the fact that we could raise money for a legacy for BNI.
Yeah.
So our minibus is a legacy to BNI. Oh, sorry.
You get your telephone, Lisa.
My other half is wanting a lift home. You'll have to wait.
All on live. It's all good. It's all good.
That's how good I am online. Oh,
I like it. I like it.
Shut it up.
Throw it out window.
Oh, no, sorry.
It's all good.
I would go mad at my team if they did that. I hope they don't watch this.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. So yeah, a part of leaving a legacy as well, which is fun. Really, really good. So what does the future look like for Huddersfield Giants? And
Well, one of my goals was to ensure that girls got the same opportunities as men. So our championship ladies women's team are now in Super League and they're now classed as an elite sport. So I feel like I can tick one box off, and the multi-century zone again, I can tick another box off. I just like to get my team back and make sure that we can use the resources that we've got to take us to a better place than where we're at the moment. But the Super League women are going to be fantastic. James Westerby, who heads up the girls, it's really exciting, and I can't wait to get to the first game because it's absolutely brutal. The women are brutal. Really,
I've seen a bit. Yeah, it is. And how can there are people watching this now live, and then later on replay? How can we help you?
I think for me it's awareness. We do sponsorship packages, but at the moment, because we're on a standstill, for me, I can't sell anything that I don't think I can give. And like I said to you before, I do feel that it's a win-win partnership. It's got to suit both. And at the moment, I couldn't give you a partnership saying this, that and the other, because we don't know whether that will happen on the 17th of May. But we do have a Friends of the Trust package, which is just £300. And that supports the trust to keep going. And if anybody's interested in that, please let me know, and we can get in touch. But it's all about media and getting yourself out there. And I think once we know when we've got that date, we will be all over it.
You will. And how can I suppose last question? How can people get in touch with you, Lisa? They think actually we're in the local area, we want to do something, whether it's CSR related or whatever it may be. How can they get in touch?
All you need to just go onto the website and put HGCT in or the zone, and it'll pick up there, and it'll give you all the team and the Twitter accounts, the Instagram. I'm not really up on social media, as Janet Bebb will tell you. But bless Janet, she sort of supports us. She's putting on free training, LinkedIn training on Tuesday for everybody, in donations to the trust. So hopefully I'll be really good at LinkedIn after Tuesday.
Yeah, let's hope so. Well, genuinely thank you very much. If you are watching this live or you're watching this on replay, I know it's going to be shared out across a few platforms. If you're thinking, well, actually, you know what, I am a charity, or I'm not. I'm a company, and I want to expand my business. I want more support. Lots of other things. I want more referrals, or the right kind of referrals coming into my organization. Then scan that code at the top of your screen right now, or put your name into the chat below. Someone will be in touch about inviting you down to a local meeting so you can get to know wonderful people like Lisa and everything that they're doing there at Huddersfield Giants. Lisa, thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too.
And go and have a glass of wine. Enjoy it. It's 5 o'clock, so why not?
Okay, thank you, Liam.
Thank you.